I'm definitely the Lucian to your Wayne in this situation on this week's the episode of Cartoon Buffoons. I'm your host Wyatt, and who is here with me today, as always.
Hello, I'm Morgan. I'm a disgraced member of the Frieza Force.
What got you kicked out of the Frieza Force? Don't want to talk about it.
I saw Zarbon on Grindr, and they needed to keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
It happens.
You didn't see Frieza on Grindr?
No, Frieza's Ace Arrow. Don't do that.
Okay. So, we are here talking about a show that nobody on Earth or any other planet out there in the wide expanse of space remembers exists.
Nope, we've been told all week by all our friends, this sounds fake, over and over and over again.
And then they looked it up and they were like, nope, did not ring any bells. It's not real.
Like, no, I looked it up and it seems faker now. I think that's what Rexy said word for word. I looked it up and it seems faker. Like
it seems less real the more I get a visual image of it. Which is not wrong. We're talking about the Cramp Twins.
Yeah.
Which was a Cartoon Network Europe show, but it did air in America, because I do remember watching this.
Me too. I do too.
Yes, I remember seeing this to some degree. This is a very strange show.
This shit is weird as fuck, bro. I know we watch like Courage and everything. This is weird as shit.
Yeah. This is another one of those shows where I was like, Baby Blues or the Oblongs, which were around the same time.
Yeah.
But on Adult Swim. That I am 100% positive was a comic.
Yeah.
And I think it is.
It is.
What is it about these shows that just have the adaptations where you can just immediately tell that it's based on a comic?
I don't know. There's a specific art. I think there's an art style to comics, like comedy comics, that come across in the production when you're making a cartoon of it that makes it so obvious it was a comic.
Because I think the only one that I didn't know until later was the Boondocks. As far as comic adaptations, I saw the show first,
and that's because that's a really well there's a reason for that, because they went out their way to animate it differently than the comics look. So
But we're here talking about that, talking about the Cramp Twins. Now I'll say this: this episode I was very scared, because when I first started watching the show, I'm like, oh God, is there nothing to talk about? Is it going to be another situation like Evil Con Carne, where I had
we just shit on a different show?
Yeah, I just had to talk about what I was watching that week, basically. But no, there's
stuff here to talk about.
There's stuff to talk about. But before we get into it, I do want to ask, do you, you have seen this before, what are your memories? I'm sure they're not that vivid, because that's probably the same with me, but...
Nah, it's only one memory, really.
Okay.
My only memory with this show is I remember seeing the opening one time on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
And thinking how weird it was that baby made a sexy little face when he got spanked on the ass. It is the most vivid. No. The twins are given birth to in the opening. Yes, I did say that. They're given birth to in the opening. And the evil twin, when a doctor smacks his ass, goes, and I'm like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up here, guys?
Yeah.
Besides that, not a lot. I know the cartoon, I know and I've seen it, but it was just not on my radar at all growing up. Mm-hmm. That's all I remember. That's all I remembered about it was that.
Yeah. Little did we know it had 104 episodes.
Hold on.
52 episodes, 104 segments.
Yeah. That's still in fucking insane.
Yeah, that is ridiculous compared to that just shows you how cracked European production is.
Yeah.
They were still because Cartoon Network was such a stupid guerrilla operation at this point. Even at this point, that Oh yeah, seasons would be like 10 episodes, 7 episodes, whatever. And the Adult Swim shows, it was like they didn't even produce a full season. Like season 1 of Aqua Teen and like Harvey Birdman aired over the course of like multiple years.
Yeah.
Just like a few episodes at a time. And then this is just like, yeah, this is just a normal TV show. We're just producing it this way. And then boom, you get like 52 episodes up front. They produce it. Didn't go much further than that. Did air for 3 years though. Like it went from just a scant few weeks before 9/11 on the September 3rd, 2001.
Oh my god.
All the way to 2004.
Someone told my friend Ashley told me that like, hey, yeah, the United show aired before 9/11. And I'm like, it did what? I think the idea that a show about two twins aired a week before 9/11 has to be a cosmic joke of which we've never seen before.
And Wayne does look like like in the first episode after 9/11, he does look a little bit suspicious, right? Like he does.
Jesus
seems like
Christ,
he was up to something. It just seemed like he was up to something.
Oh my God, Wyatt, we're going to get in so much trouble. We've hit our 9/11 joke per decade. We're done, guys. See you in 2030 when we make another one.
But yeah, so Cramp Twins, I don't remember too much. I do remember it existing, and I remember like seeing a couple episodes, but really don't remember much about it. That's it. Like, yeah, just like
Let's get yeah. Now we can talk about the. I think like we usually talk about like, the show itself before we talk about voice cast and everything like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like we gotta talk about voice cast first. Gotta say, for a show that is like written by British people, like some of the writers from it like worked on Thomas the Tank Engine and other British shows.
Yep.
The fact that our main cast is Tom Kenny and Kath Soucie is fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're just everywhere.
Yeah, they are everywhere, and them together on this is like was this not made for American television? Like it's kind of interesting. This is a British show with just like these two heavy hitters of American like voice acting,
because like
as the main characters.
We'll see later on down the road when we do like like the Mr. Man show or whatever, where they actually did produce a American dub and a UK dub for the show, so there's like different voice actors depending on the region, even though it was like a UK created thing. With this, it's like not only that, the weirder thing is that it's like those two are the only Americans, and then the rest are all Canadian voice actors. Because like I started hearing the dad, and I was like, "That's Cheetor." My Beast Wars sentence went up, and then I looked it up, and I was like, "Yeah, it's like Cheetor and Nicole or Ian James Corlett, Nicole Oliver, Tabitha St. Germain, the Canadian people." And I was just like, what the hell? What's going on? Why is Tom Kenny and Kath Soucie here?
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like in the production of the show, they were like, well, we do want to get an American audience at some point. Let's call in the quote-unquote big guns.
Yeah.
Because even at 2001, 2002, Tom Kenny is still fucking everywhere. And Kath Soucie is also on multiple very big shows.
This is peak Tom Kenny saturation. This is season 3 of SpongeBob era,
This is like you turn around and he's there everywhere. He's doing everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is like when he becomes fucking big shot, like cartoon boy. And like Kath Soucie, maybe a little bit past her prime, because after this point, you don't really see her super often. Like she'll appear in stuff like she's in, like Juniper Lee as the little brother. But like,
she's also like, if I like It All Grown Up's the best cartoon Nickelodeon ever put out, so lock in.
Yeah. And that one's interesting because she does Phil and Lil in the original, obviously, but they have a closer vocal range because they are babies.
Yeah,
even if she performs them differently, but then as like tweens.
Teenager them, she got to like really like lock in and like do a lot of different voices because they're like because like a 13-year-old like boy and a 13-year-old girl sound different even if they're twins. So like it was a lot of work on that. But yeah, like this is still like pretty much like we're not in the like the point where she's not doing extra stuff, but we're getting close to it.
Yeah, because her heyday was doing like cartoon moms basically in like the 90s and Phil and Lil and like some characters here and there. And then like you eventually get to the point down the line that we have with like Trick Moon where it's like, oh, her playing one of the main characters is like nostalgic.
It's a novelty.
Yeah.
She's still good, but it's just it's a novelty, yeah.
Yeah. I do want to ask because I actually don't know much about your sibling relationships.
Mm-hmm. I am the youngest of multiple children.
Were you like Wayne?
Okay. So I think I would have been, but the issue is that my brother is like 12 years older than me.
Okay. And he was
and my sister is like 7 years older than me, and my closest brother in age is 6. That means they were like human beings when my brain started like making things that I could say and develop.
Right.
They were gone.
So
they
you
were
couldn't
fucking
fuck
gone.
with that. Like,
no,
basically.
I got fucked with. I got bullied. I
Yeah.
did snitch a lot. I was a snitch kid. I will admit that. But yeah, like, what about you? Were you a Wayne or were you a Lucius?
I'm definitely Wayne. 100%.
Absolutely.
My brother is a real Lucian, and like, I did have an older sister, who was she was like, I'm trying to think she's like 10 years older. 10, 12, maybe 10, 11 years older than me. And we like, I would annoy her, but we got along pretty well.
Yeah, once they get to a certain degree of older than you, it's no longer like I can make fun of this person. This person, like you're like an aunt that's my sibling.
Yeah.
Like that's how I am with my brother. My brother's like very protective in a way where I'm like, all right, listen, like he vets anyone I date. That's how kind of intense he is. Like he's like, let me sit down with them, see what they're like. So yeah, like you get to the point where I'm just like, you're just playing parental number 2 kind of style. I think I always forget they're twins because cartoons love to make twins look exactly alike, and these fuckers look nothing alike. They're terrifying to look at.
They have the same head shape, but
that's it. The same.
But that's also like I don't know if that's like that, the Brian Wood art style though. I'll say this, like, I think maybe the reason I could tell it was based on a comic was because comic cartoons always have some weird fucking thing.
Yes,
like
they do.
Art style choice,
like the line.
Yes, and this has like the weird like outline thing, like I don't know if this was
floating.
I don't know what the hell they're supposed to be, like worry lines or something. Like if every character is like vibrating really hard.
No, but like it's on everybody, even when they're standing still. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that like the little line around every character, and some characters with like simpler head shapes, it looks like it's just a circle around their head. It gets weirder. Like I don't know. It's a strange thing this show has going for it. One of the many strange things this show has going. Anyway, I guess the plot of this show is, everyone, there's 2 twins. One is a sociopath who will one day bring an AR-15 to his school. That's kind of the joke they make with him too. I'm not like
And he did, as we discussed before, he did take down.
All right.
The Twin Tower
with a box cutter. He was on. Okay, stop. I got. And then you have his brother, who's like SJW. Again, not really making a joke here. The show kind of basically just says that.
Just a real annoying cockboy. I do have to ask about. This is something that I need to bring up here, in that I don't know still after watching all the not all the episodes, but watching a lot of episodes, watching like 6 episodes or whatever. Does the show think that Lucian is like right, or do they think he is annoying as hell?
My brother in Christ, I have no fucking clue. Because listen, the thing is though, we go like, oh, he's wrong for like his environmentalism because he's annoying. But also every time you see a joke about the city is like, haha, look at these guys. They love corporations and they hate nature. And I'm like, Okay, but is Lucian right then? I think like the show is leaning towards yes, he's right, but he's also like annoying as shit. So it sucks that he's right. I think that's like the joke.
Here's the thing, because like obviously, I'm not trying to say environmentalism or whatever is wrong. It's just like this kind of like guy on the street with a pamphlet, like activism is very annoying, obviously to a lot of people. And I wonder if they decided they were intentionally like, oh, what if we create these two twins, make it seem like they're very different from each other, but make them equal troublemakers, in just different ways, and make it so that they're closer to each other than they think they are, as far as like, why they're doing what they're doing. Or if they truly didn't do that, there is no like subtext, there's no like deeper thing. It literally is just, oh, Wayne is evil, Lucian is good, and thus good means being environmentalist kid.
I think it's both, because the thing is though, I think that's like definitely the core. Like Wayne is just evil. But I think the fact that, like, oh my god, I'm about to get into the deepness of the Cramp Twins.
Yeah,
sure.
Here we are.
Is that, like, I think the thing is, though, because of how, like, 40s-ified the neighborhood they live in, it's called Soap City, and, like, it's owned by a big corporation. Everyone loves the products, and they hate nature.
The dad is a fucking salesman. I was like, what is this?
What
era is this?
They all hate, like, they all, like, love consumerism in America. There's an episode where they're scared of foreigners and stuff like that. The fact that, like, that's, like, the vibe of the city, and Wayne's an outcast because he likes to destroy stuff and fuck shit up, right? But Lucius is an outcast because he thinks consumerism is wrong and wants to protect the environment. I think that's the joke. The joke is that, like, in a, like, shitty Americanized society, you're an outcast if you're a bad person, but you can also be an outcast if you're too good of a person.
Yeah, that's
I think that's, like, the joke that the show's going for. And let me just say, insane goof to have in your kids show where there's fart jokes. Like
so we did talk a little bit about the cast, but and we kind of went away from that, but I do really want to like give credit to Tom Kenny and Kat Susie, especially because Tom Kenny at this point hadn't really done too many characters like this.
Yeah, that sucks shit. Like, he's usually happy-go-lucky
like,
shit.
Yeah, usually like Heifer and, Rocko's Modern Life and SpongeBob, obviously. And then like other like side characters here and there and things. Whereas like him doing like a chaotic, evil kind of like, him doing that kind of, it's like not quite sumo.
No, it's not like so.
But it's like the beginning, with like with a few more steps and a few less like intentional evil. Like once you remove the evil and turn it to just pure id, like then it becomes sumo. And that's kind of like.
I think like it's funny you say it because I was like, oh, this is Tom Kenny, but also he never gets as scraggly as this with like Butch from Powerpuff Girls or Sumo. Not Butch. Is the other character, whatever. But he never gets scraggly like that. He is doing like a pseudo new voice here.
Yeah,
and it's kind of interesting because I don't think he ever uses this one ever to fuck again. Like
yeah. Yeah, I really can't think of it. I think the closest is like Raimundo and Shaolin Showdown, where he is like a little bit of a
smug,
gets
pretty close. Yeah.
He's like a smug prick, but he's not. He doesn't have that like malicious intent. Whereas like Kat Susie here is, she's done little boy characters, she's done nerd characters. In the pilot that we just did, the My Freaky Family, she's kind of like a nerdy girl in that. But like, it's such a natural sounding voice. Like I said, it like fits such a little like annoying little cuckboy like Lucian, and like so I think like the two lead characters, really good performances from both those actors. And then like I said, like those Canadian voice actors are just royalty basically. Like they just have been doing this for so long.
The Transformers and My Little Pony royalty, bro.
Yeah, because when I heard him, I was like, oh yeah, I recognized it was Shidor, but he's doing such a different like voice or character from Cheetor, especially because this is like Beast Machine's era, you know, like 2001. I was like, oh god.
I think I do think if we're gonna talk about the like cast, I do want to bring up this show's weirdest joke. What's up with the way this show treats small people?
I don't know.
I don't know, like, if you've watched the episodes, but it ramps up in the second season. But guys, there's like a character that like is like the main kid, not Wayne, the other one. I can't remember his name right now. Lucian's best friend, and his whole thing, guys, is that like he's from the swamp, and he's like 3 apples tall.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it. And there's like multiple episodes about him. Yeah. And how like the creator just thinks it's really funny that he's 3 apples tall. And I don't know what's happening there.
That's one of those like, I don't know, comic books just or comic strips or whatever, like they just do that sometimes where they're like, we come up with a joke for like one comic strip and then oops, we accidentally created a character, so now we have to keep putting them in it. So
there's like 4 sides, like he sizes jokes, he's heightus, and I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, it's just like an unfunny, like it's just again like some hack joke that was meant to be done one time, but they just like keep doing it. And you're like, okay, we get it. All right, yeah. I do think, though, it's interesting that this show does continuously make jokes about, like, racism and xenophobia and sexism. But, like, not like in, like, the cartoon, we can't say it. This show says xenophobia and sexism multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, the words just straight up.
Yeah, and I think that's because, like, again, the whole point of the show might be that, you know, again, like, I don't want to, like, read too much into the intention because who knows, honestly, but like from my perspective, you know, it is that it's like this thin line between like the 2 twins and the idea of you know, that like Lucian is also kind of annoying for moralizing so much, you know.
Yeah, he's a woke moralist and he will pay.
Yeah. And I'm not necessarily even saying like I agree with that, you know. It's just it just feels like that kind of like, you know, this show was made before 9/11, okay? So like we had no problems going on in America. There was nothing, there was no war. There was like, we were like, yeah, we got everything solved.
We fixed racism.
South Park was the most popular show. The idea that like anybody would be an activist or care, it's just like, those are small time issues. We solved the big issues. We got done with the Cold War, and like, you know, actually learning about world history, you learn that none of that was ever true, but in a broad strokes, that was what, you know, American society was
USA, like. USA. Like, I will say though, like,
and like world, yeah. And I'm not, you know, because this is a British creation, but like it applies to it as well in the sense that like, you know, I think that they are like, they are trying to use these like moralistic things in order to like poke fun at Lucian as a character, and like these ideas are like prop up Wayne as more than just like a chaotic troublemaker. Like he's a little bit more pure because he really doesn't care about like the structure of the world or whatever. Like he just kind of like enacts his will upon people, you know.
He does join Nazi Germany though.
Yeah.
Like, there's an episode. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, okay. There's an episode where, like, they're like, okay, all these pro.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they're like, all these pro like environmental people have attacked one of the companies, and he says we're gonna hire a squad to deal with that. And I'm not kidding. In the squad, they give them all black suits and stuff with red armbands, and Wayne goes around calling his brother, going, "You are an agitator. You must be taken in." He says that word for word, and he goes, "Oh, is he even my brother? Maybe he's not my brother. We never know what kind of people could be living with us in our home." And I'm like, guys, this is the most straight up alluding to Nazi Germany shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, we just used to be able to do this in cartoons.
We did. Now, it's crazy.
Like now he can't. Now there's like no way they can have direct like Nazi imagery and things, you know.
And things like
that.
It's one of the few episodes where like it's just like, no, Wayne is evil as shit. Like it's the episode that goes like, no, Wayne's really bad and evil. Do not listen to Wayne. He's evil. There's another episode too where like they get a new neighbor who people go, oh, is he foreign? And it's like she's like Scandinavian, so it's not like as racist as it could have been. Yeah, and his mom's like his mom's like, I don't trust her. And Lucia's like, Mom, I don't think you trust anyone who moves to the neighborhood. And they say like, oh, she's definitely a spy spying on us from another country. And then they start getting stuff delivered to them by the government. And Lucia's like, guys, why are we letting this government agent just come into our home and give us stuff because we don't trust our neighbor? Isn't this bad? And his parents won't listen to him. And I'm like, dude, what's the like? This show seems like it's not very lax with the politics of like, guys, trusting the U.S. government is the worst thing you could do. Your foreigners and like people from other places are not your enemy. It's weird because like I think there's like a shift, Wyatt, where like the show's like, yeah, Lucius the SJW is annoying, and then like halfway through production they went, no, he's kind of spitting. Like they just kind of swallow him really hard.
Yeah. And see, like here's the thing, like I bring up those ideas not even necessarily to say like, oh, the show is wrong or whatever for thinking that, because like I said, it's during the specific time period. Like context, very important. It was created during a time period where like that stuff truly was just seen as like more frivolous, more like, yeah, you can, you know, like protesting and that kind of stuff was seen as legitimate during like the 60s and 70s.
But that was normal.
Know? Yeah, and then like even into the 80s with the Cold War and everything, but in like in the 90s and then, you know, up into the early 2000s was seen as like, okay, what are you even complaining about? You don't even know what you want. And like that continues to this day to be like the rhetoric against you know, people that are protesting, even though like people do know what they want.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that should be I think it's funny that like that whole idea of like we don't need to protest anymore has been warped now to modern day of like if you protest, don't be disruptive, right?
Yeah,
which is the truth.
Just and like it's the fucking point. That's so annoying because that is like that's supposed to be the point of protesting, and so it's like. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I feel bad for thinking that he is annoying because I don't think he's like a bad character. Like, I won't say like I won't say that. Like, and in general, like, we didn't talk about it, our general thoughts, but I think that this is a solid show. Like, I think that it's
absolutely. I think this is a very solid show. I went in to think it was gonna suck dick, but it was pretty alright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think like one of the things that I think the show's agreeing with you. I think this show has a lot of nuance at what it's trying to make jokes about, which feels insane to say about the Cramp Twins.
That's why I'm like qualifying on my statements with like I don't know about this because like I think they are going for like a little bit more of a subtle, you know, like character building and things like that. Like they do have like some stuff that they're doing with like the characters in the world. Like it is smarter than some of these other cartoons that we talked about that are...
That's when it feels the most British, actually, is when they get to that kind of stuff. Like, there's very much, like, an underlying British sense of humor throughout this show, up like, all over it. And I think, like, one of the things about it that makes it feel that way is we'll have Lucius doing his dumb thing where he's going a little too hard, or even not hard enough, right? And then we'll switch it over to the swamp people who he's, like, advocating for, and they're going, we'll just blackmail or physically attack politicians. And I think that's the funniest thing. Like, we're like, Lucius, you're talking a lot of game. Let's be about it. And I think as a message for kids, good, everyone. Remember, your politicians work for you. And sometimes it's good if they fear you.
Yeah. But I also, like, you know, we talked about the two twins and, like, their role in things. But, like, you do have, like... You know, a lot of cartoons have this sort of like, oh, what if our parents were like from the 50s, you know, because all the people making cartoons are like boomers at this point. But like, but I do like, it is a little bit more hypercritical of that era of, you know, like American Family compared to like other shows where it's like, Dexter's Lab. We haven't gotten to like Jimmy Neutron or Fairly Odd Parents or whatever. They're like, your parents are stupid. Like, they are just dumb people.
No,
you know?
like
we haven't gotten to that because, like, we've had, Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and stuff. Like, the parents are maybe a little bit clueless sometimes, but overall, like, nice, reasonable people. Whereas, like, this is, like, the mom is, like, super neurotic, just, like, complete germaphobe.
Cooks really bad meals, like covered in cheese, like hot dog and cheese, like very 40s style bad cook.
And then the dad is like a door-to-door salesman again, which is like, that's kind of what set the tone for me as far as like,
he's also obsessed with westerns and like cowboy stuff and like old Americana. Like this show isn't very subtle with his critique of American culture. It's very funny.
Like he's like a guy pretending it's like the 40s and 50s, but it's like 2000, like that's the thing. Like that's the joke, is that it's like him being like a door-to-door salesman. It's like, who gives a fuck about, like, if people are like, get away, I don't want you to, like in this era of like, I can just go on eBay or whatever and like buy shit. Like even then, people just like, or go to the store or do anything, other than like, buy it from like a door-to-door salesman. And then like the cowboy stuff and everything. I was just like, he's like trapped in this like older version of America. Like given his age, he is probably like his dad, was.
He wants to just
like
be
that.
his dad. Like he wants to be his dad in that era of America. And like I don't know, man. Like as I was watching the show, I was like, it's weird that this is like a British show with all this cast stuff like that, but like, I don't think this could have been made here. Like, I don't think this could have been made here, dude. Like, this is really like a showing of like, getting cartoons that are trying to do settings in different places is good, because this thing like could not have been made in studio in America, like fully anyway, like and written, because this. Man, I don't know. It's weird, and there is like some pitfalls with some of the writing. I don't like when it does stuff like that, but I don't know. It's kind of nice to see this in 2001 because we were really close to the air. You're right, pre 9/11, because once 9/11 hits, you can't really be like critical of America even as a joke.
Yeah. You can't be critical of America, and then like all of a sudden the the people that are protesting are seen as like enemies of the state.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, those stupid protesters, they're complaining about nothing. So it's like,
it becomes less that, more like, are you terrorists?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're with us or against us, and the idea of like xenophobia is like legitimized, in the sense of like, oh, now we're afraid of Muslims, all that horrible. I mean, it's still going on now.
Yes,
but like it was very bad growing up in that era, and like just so normalized.
I'm actually kind of surprised this show got a season 2. Well, no, the way we used to make cartoons back in the day, people knew they had season 2 before season 1.
Yeah, I think they just ordered like 52 episodes and then like split that basically into season 1 and 2.
Yeah,
that's the same thing that happened with Megas XLR, where like there's no fucking way that show would have gotten picked up for a season 2. They got all of the episodes ordered at once and then just like split it into 2 seasons.
Yeah. Like I definitely think that like I don't want to blame the American switch after 9/11 on this show not getting more of it, but I bet it didn't help.
Yeah,
I bet it fucking didn't help, because like this show's making fun of Americana, fucking foreigner, and just screaming at the Europeans.
It's funny like how much the show is like, we keep talking about it being about Americana, but it's like British guy made it, German animation company, like it's just like
you're racist, your racist dad sees this as an attack on America. They hear about this and be like, this is a calculated strike.
Those are the exact 2 countries that you would think would make fun of America. Like those are
our greatest enemies since the Revolutionary War and Russia. I mean Germany. Yeah. Like this is like it's so cartoonish, because this is the kind of cartoon that if it came out now, every shitty Republican YouTuber would be like this. Is Cartoon Network shitting on our country again? Like, made by the German... Like, I bet you China was involved. Like, you would be seeing all of those thumbnails for this fucking show.
And like, because like it went on the YouTube. This is just all on YouTube, by the way. They just
Yeah,
like
they
uploaded
just
it
watch
all
it.
on YouTube. By the way, there's like one of the videos on the playlist is the Cramp Twins. I didn't click on that because I really would rather put the barrel of a gun in my mouth than watch like any kind of Trump related humor or whatever. So I don't know what it was, but I just saw that. I was like, oh, not watching that. And then was on but they had like the German episodes of it up as well, and I was just like, very funny, like going on the Cramp Twins YouTube channel and being like, oh yes, it's hold on, let me get it up here. The a Gorks Ekrek. Yeah, there you go.
What? Stop saying things.
That's but I don't know. We've talked a good amount about like the premise of the show and the characters and everything. Oh, God, no, I don't. It's auto playing this fucking Trump Twins thing.
Motherfucker, you opened it. That's what you get.
Yeah,
you gotta deal with the Trump Twins.
Yeah, back it out before I have to see any more of it. Apparently this did. Oh wait, no, that's in Latin America. Never mind. I was gonna say this did air on Fox Kids, but that's.
And yeah, other places.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
let me just say, cartoon airing stuff is so silly.
Mm-hmm.
Finding out that a cartoon aired one place for you, and then like, no, it was like fucking everywhere else. It was weird.
Yeah, no, that's really fun. That was something where I've had, like, I tried to go for the Ed and Eddie episode. I think I talked about it in that episode, but like, I tried to go to Canadian people I knew, and was like, hey, this is like a big. You know, Danny Antonucci is like a huge Canadian animator. This is like one of the most notable Canadian productions, you know, ever, basically. How much do you know about this? And they're always like, never watched it as a kid.
Yeah, because it wasn't
air. Because the shows that aired on like Teletoon and YTV were like Canadian-only productions. And the American shows that were brought over were stuff like Samurai Jack or... like other like action cartoons or more like very specific Cartoon Network.
It was made for our market in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I always find that really interesting. That when shows are
Just
like made
this.
for like the market. Yeah, just like this. We're like, yeah, it airs there for a little bit, but it's made for a different market than where it was made. And I think that's like I think animation that happens more so than anywhere else. Like live action stuff very rarely will, like biggest exception I can think about is Power Rangers because that's just New Zealand as hell now. But like it's animation. It's always that thing where like everyone working on this is just not from where it's going to be big, and I think that's so interesting, and I think it's really cool. Like, it's the reason why there's so many fun episodes of like Batman the Animated Series where, yeah, this whole episode was like the production team for this was just fully Japanese for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're like, oh, this is the like. Oh, the Clayface episode. You're like, wow, this is anime as hell. Like you're watching it. Because it's literally the people who animated Akira are doing it. So leave me alone.
Leave me alone. I can't. By the way, side note, sorry everybody. I've been doing that around the house since I saw that clip again. Anytime someone says "leave me alone," I go "leave me alone," and I go Akira. To be honest, that's how like existing feels sometimes. Like you see the news and Joe Biden's making you feel that way. Where you go,
yeah, oh yeah, I've definitely many times per day I scream in my head, "Leave me alone," to like news or some intrusive thought or something like that.
The like nothing child voice in your brain screaming at you.
That's like, man, that's a good meme because it can't really be fucked up. Like it will take a lot, I think, to like drive it into the ground. You know?
Yeah, because it's sad in context, but it is deeply funny. Like just
like turning into a joke and everything is fun because it is like, there's only like one way to structure that joke of like, you know, a flashing image and then he says "leave me alone" and then the second one with the
bell toll.
Like, and then, you know, here we are deconstructing a meme, but like there are so many of them that are like, oh, this was a really funny joke And then like one of my favorite examples of like this was way funnier in the original version than it was with any of the other offshoots is the like, shout out to X, gotta be one of my favorite genders.
No, but shout out to women, National Women.
Yes.
National Women. Shout out to women, gotta be one of my, because it's a clean joke because that man was not joking. That was literally his post, and every time we do an edit of it, it's just not as funny. It's just like the like cold, clean, like very dry comedy of women is one of my favorite genders. Like, we'll
absolutely.
never beat it. Like,
that's just better because it's such a bizarre thing to say where it's like people being like, oh man, shout out to Hatsune Miku, gotta be one of my favorite genders or whatever. It's just like,
okay,
it just
like shout out Miku, but like damn, okay.
Yeah. But like, I also did want to point out, because you did mention this, but yes, the one of the main writers, Andrew Brenner, is like hugely prolific Thomas the Tank Engine writer. And I didn't grow up with Thomas the Tank Engine in that like I prefer my vehicles to transform into robots and fight each other.
God. Nerd. Yo, don't talk shit on Big T, bro. Big T is crazy. I loved. Yo, who's your favorite tank engine? If you can name me 3, Wyatt, I won't kill you. So can you name me 3?
Henry, Gordon.
Okay. One more.
Not
Thomas either.
Not Thomas.
Not Thomas, bitch. Come on.
What the fuck? Let me think. Edward?
Fuck you. You got it. I can't kill you now.
Yeah.
You left out Big Percy. I'm mad as shit, bro. Percy's the coolest. Percy is the green one that like is like always has that horny little coy smile, like he's trying to seduce you from across the club. But
yeah, but he was involved in like the CGI like reboot, like not reboot, I guess, but like that.
But like retelling,
yeah, where it's like, all right, it's no longer Ringo Starr or whatever that is doing or George Carlin that's doing the narration. It's like we just get guys to voice Thomas and shit.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, and then he did. I think the same studio did like the Barbie show. Like, do you remember Barbie Life in the Dream House?
I do.
Yeah, where it was like, it was the show where it was like they were toys, basically. Like, or there was like very meta about that. So yeah, I don't know. Just like Andrew Brenner is like an interesting. That's like we don't usually get to veer into that kind of like British produced.
No, there's also
stuff.
What's his name? Ian Carney. I'm looking at my notes. He did a lot of writing and script writing for Bob the Builder and Shaun the Sheep and some other stuff. Like, I think it's crazy that like I don't know, like it seems like the close knitness of Chuggington. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's the other train. British people. Yeah. Let the train shit go. Damn, y'all niggas are weird. You guys are fucking weird. But no, but
why do they love trains? Is it because it's such a small? Like trains are more.
I think it's because they're racist over there. I think they're racist over there. Yeah, if you're British, you hear this. Fuck you. I'm kidding.
Racist. You're
racist. Yeah.
Unless you're Irish, and then you don't consider yourself.
If you're Irish, then yeah, you're not even British, dude. You're better. Whatever. But no, but like I think it's cool how close knit the writing and like theme for like British shows are. Because even if you work on stuff that like feels like it traditionally should not be what you should be quote unquote working on, because for like a different demographic, you still work and stuff. Also, a lot of the people who worked on the Cramp Twins work for Dark Horse Comics also. That's another weird connecting I like this show is so strange, man. There's like so many things like that in it. But I think it like helps. Like I think the reason why the writing is so strong, like you get a lot of like nuanced stuff going, is they have so many people that have done all sectors of this kind of stuff.
I do have to point this out. Creator is Brian Wood. One of the writers is Peter Cox. Anyway, so
okay, yeah, great. Why was that? Was that?
I was just pointing out the names.
You heard fucking Kill Bill symbols when you saw a wooden cock. You were like, hold on. There's a penis joke to be made. Let me get in there.
Not even an X. It's Cocks.
Oh
Peter
man.
Cox.
Oh man. High school must have been a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I always think about that with like when people are like, oh, my name is Steve Cuck, or like, you know, or Louis Gaylord, or things like that. I'm just like, why did we come up with
so
these?
immature. I can't stop laughing at Louis Cuck. I can't. dude. Oh my god. Gaylord's fine. Gaylord kind of eats, right? Because I would love to be Gaylord. But
yeah,
if my last,
that sounds kind of cool. Like you're like, yeah.
If my last name was Cuck, I'm changing it and I'm fighting my parents in the street. We're having a fucking Yakuza style. I'm ripping my shirt off to show my back tattoo, and I'm beating the shit out of you for making my last name Cuck. You'll see it once. It'll be like this: Louis Cuck of the Dojima, and that's it before I kill you.
But Sunbow Entertainment did the so that was the like studio that also did like G.I. Joe. I mean, we were talking about G.I. Joe. Like Transformers in the 80s. So like and they usually did outsource animation to Toei and stuff at that point. That like that era is obviously over by the time that this show is airing. I'm sure they were outsourcing it elsewhere. I
guess last thing I want to say is this show, while I did enjoy it, I'm glad it's not that long, because it honestly, I don't think it could have gone that much longer without the formula getting a little.
Yeah, and honestly, it was way too fucking long the way it is. Yeah,
I will say, it's really weird. This show still doesn't vibe as a Cartoon Network show. I meant to say that.
No, yeah.
This feels
that's
like
why it's not memorable. It doesn't feel anything like Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I think it's not even like a quality thing. I think this like kids, me too, have this very specific vibe in our heads of what a Cartoon Network show feels like. This kind of feels like it should have aired as like the better show in an hour block with the Weekenders or something. Like if you put this on Disney with the Weekenders, this would have ate. I think people would have a lot more fond memories of it than they do on Cartoon Network.
It does
because again,
sort of
Cartoon
look like the Weekend. Like it has a kind of similar art style to the Weekenders, just like a little bit more like.
There's no sexy Tino's sexy mom though, which is a bummer.
That's true. T-Mom. There's no T-Mom.
Ooh, you can't say that because T-Mom.
Did you see that? I saw that on Twitter like yesterday. There's just a picture of her, and the license plate in the car that she was like working on said T-Mom, and then people. You know what?
I'm glad that the Weekenders had sexy trans MILF visibility. So I think shout out to her for being a first T-Mom in cartoon. Wow, we got a lot of fucking ass jokes in this one. Yeah. But like
we know that we gotta wrap it up.
We gotta. But no, I do feel like the show would have just did better there with like on that network because like I don't know 2003 I guess 2001 to 3 Cartoon Network motherfucker it's a fight. It's a fight to remember over there, dude. It's like a combat zone.
Yeah, and I would say like even shows that we weren't crazy about like Evil Con Carne. Like that still feels like Cartoon Network because
it does. Even if it's
so
bad.
Connected to Billy and Mandy, and that's so much of the identity of Cartoon Network, and like I don't know, you're right. I think it just wasn't a good style or tone fit, similar to like on Adult Swim when they did have stuff like Baby Blues and Oblongs, where it's like
they were funny, but they did feel off.
Yeah, those were like a little bit too sincere for the like insane experimental block of television that is Adult Swim,
See,
and like things in like Mission Hill and things like that, great shows, but
not the. I think the experimentals where to get a good point at because like I think even though the show's good and its writing goes out there, the thing that makes Cartoon Network shows and originals even like Evil Con Carne and Cow and Chickens like stuff we didn't like particularly, they are experimental with the art. Cartoon Network is still at its core an art animation weirdo network. And if the style of your show can't hang, even if the jokes are good, that's why Sheep in a Big City still feels like a Cartoon Network show, even if we don't think it's funny, because it's the art of it, Like the way, if the animation in your show feels like, oh, this feels like blank show, it's probably not ready to hang on Cartoon Network, because this is like where the art perverts go to hang out,
Yeah. So. Man, I cannot fucking believe we got 50 minutes of conversation. Didn't go on any stupid we didn't like veer into talking about a different cartoon I was watching or whatever.
No.
We actually stuck, stayed on task, talked about this for a full episode's worth. And I think we got a pretty good conversation out of it too. So
we didn't talk about communism, but we did talk about the issue with post 9/11 America, which I think is beautiful. Yay!
Yes. So there is some new things to maybe put on your because like now we are going to be talking about a lot of cartoons from 2001.
Oh yeah, 9/11 has come and went, dude. The 9/11 effect on cartoons.
Yeah, the Robot Jones episode, which will be our next episode. I'm sure. Let me look up when that show came out because that is definitely like a potential. Oh, it came out like a full year after July 19th, 2002. So a whole year.
You know that meme where like there's this when blank is doing something for attention.
Mm-hmm.
Robot Jones like this, when 9/11 happens because America wants attention away from my cartoon. Just like, come on, guys, but Robot Jones, stop having 9/11 happen. Wyatt, we literally cannot make a 9/11 joke next episode. I'm so serious.
We're not allowed.
I'm putting in my contract. Contract.
But yeah, I'm very excited to talk about that show. And it's like super short. So I'll probably be able to just watch all the...
Dude, I'm definitely watching all of it. I want to get down with Robot Jones, dude. I love the art.
Yeah.
I might draw the little fucker, man. I don't know.
Yeah, bring it on. But that we're done talking about the Cramp Twins.
The Cramp Twins and the Cramped End, yes?
Yeah. What's up with you? What's going on?
Okay, everybody. Well, it's goof time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Morgan. You can find me at Girl Next Vor on Tumblr, on co-hosts, on Blue Sky for now. Me and Wayne of Cramp Twins have some things planned for Blue Sky, so watch out. I'm
coming to Blue Sky tomorrow.
I'm also on Twitter, but in order to find it, you have to have twins. If you give birth to twins, they'll have birthmarks on each of their heads that when you put together will have my URL for my Twitter account. So you can then find me there. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. I draw. I've been drawing a lot of stuff, mostly Pokemon right now. I don't know. I like drawing little cartoon guys. Doing the shows made me want to try to do a more cartoony art style, so I've been really doing that big. Wyatt, what about you? Where can we find you?
Oh, well, I'll go on over to Twitter. Go on over to @WaspRanger, WAZP Ranger. It's mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I like to post about this podcast and videos I'm doing on my YouTube channel. If you want to support the show, go on over to It's Only Magic on Patreon at the $1 level. You get Wow Cool Row Pod, which is me and my friend Wayne, unrelated, not an evil twin, just the regular guy, aka Bolt Creature on Twitter. Go through every single robot in existence, reviewing them, 5 to 10 minute episodes. It's a good time. There's like 100-something episodes at this point, so just go on there, check that out. At the $5 level, though, you get this podcast a week early. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can go check out that Whatever Happened to Robot Jones episode right now. It's on there. But if you're on there, like, yes, you get this. You get the podcast I do with Cody, which right now is still Doctors in Discuss, which is where we go through and, like, I know nothing about Doctor Who, so he goes and picks 2 episodes from each of the, like, Doctor eras, and we just watch them. Sometimes it's great. Just recently, we did the first 2 episodes of the 6th Doctor, and it was fucking horrendous. It was like one of the worst things we'd ever watched for the podcast, and we watched Stephen King adaptations before that with Stephen King's, which you can also get all those for $5 on Patreon, and other like bonus episodes and things here and there. So go on over, slide me a 5 spot, and that's all good. But okay. That will do it for
Thank you so much for hanging with the Buffoons, baby.
Yeah. I cannot believe we got like a decent conversation out of the Cramp Twins, because going into this like yesterday or the day before, I was like, I don't know what this is gonna be, but dude, like as I was watching more episodes, I was like, I think there's stuff to talk about.
I was playing Deadlock with Kathy and Brandon, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about. And then after I watched like another batch of episodes, I was like, I don't know, we can definitely talk about something. You know, like there's definitely something here. But Robot Jones, I'm about to lock in with XJ9 before she transitions. I'm ready.
There it is. But all right. Yes, join us next time for that show. Whatever happened to Robot Jones?
Bye-bye.
See you there.